Eddie McGuire opens up about his bond with Andrew Krakouer. After AFL legend's passing, the football world was left in mourning on Sunday as the AFL confirmed the passing of Andrew Krakouer at the age of 42 in Perth following a sudden heart attack. A dazzling talent who graced the fields for both the Richmond Tigers and Collingwood Magpies, Krakouer played 137 AFL games before retiring in 2013. However, his career and life were marred by hardship. In a fateful turn of events on Christmas Eve 2006, a bar altercation in Fremantle led to his conviction for causing grievous bodily harm, sentencing him to 32 months behind bars. It was a chapter that could have defined him, but instead, he chose to rewrite his story. Eddie McGuire, like many in the football fraternity, chooses to remember Krakouer not for the fall, but for the extraordinary rise that followed. The former Collingwood president reminisced about the moments that turned Krakouer's life around and the role football played in his redemption. From prison walls to MCG glory speaking to 7 News on Monday night, McGuire shared an intimate glimpse into Krakouer's personal transformation. "He was playing football in prison when we received a letter saying he was excelling," McGuire recalled. "Andrew once told me he would lie on the top bunk of his prison cell, staring at a ceiling barely 6 inches above him, thinking, 'What am I doing here? I should be at the MCG.' That realization ignited something deep within Krakouer. He emerged from incarceration, dominated the AFL with Swan districts, and within 12 months of his return to elite football, he was dazzling on the grandest stage, playing in an AFL Grand Final at the MCG. McGuire further revealed on the project how he had been personally involved in Collingwood's decision to recruit Krakouer. "We tracked Andrew and found out there was a highly competitive football league inside the Perth prison," McGuire said. "He was training, pushing himself, preparing for one last shot. We brought him to Collingwood, and within a year he was producing magic, winning Mark of the Year, kicking Goal of the Year runner-up, and slotting 3 goals in a final." A footballing legacy and a life transformed Krakouer's untimely passing struck a particularly painful chord, as it was revealed that he had been gardening at his mother's home in Perth when he suffered the fatal heart attack. His football pedigree was undeniable. As the son of Jim Krakouer, who played 235 senior games, including 134 for North Melbourne, Andrew grew up steeped in the game's culture. His uncle, Phil Krakouer, and cousin Nathan also carved out AFL careers, further cementing the family's legacy. Andrew himself was a prodigious talent, first capturing the attention of AFL recruiters as a teenager while playing for South Fremantle. Selected by Richmond with pick 41 in the 2000 draft, he made his mark before legal troubles derailed his career. But like the best comeback stories, Krakouer found redemption, winning the prestigious Sandover Medal in 2010 before returning to the AFL. His 2011 Mark of the Year remains one of the most iconic moments in AFL history. A breathtaking leap over an Adelaide Crows defender, symbolizing not just a moment of brilliance, but his triumphant resurgence. More than a footballer, a leader, and an inspiration. Though football defined much of his life, Krakouer's impact extended beyond the game. After retiring, he became a prominent figure in the media, co-hosting Yokai Footy and providing expert commentary for AFLW matches on Fox Footy. More importantly, he embraced his role as a proud Menang and Ingarda leader, using his experiences to inspire others. His sudden death leaves an irreplaceable void, with tributes pouring in from those who knew and admired him. Collingwood great Nathan Buckley, upon learning of his former teammate's passing live on CN, was visibly shaken. "This is tragic news," Buckley said. "He was a genius on the field. He'd seen the worst and the best of life and showed immense resilience to fight his way back. For Indigenous players, it's never easy navigating AFL's mainstream environment, but Krak made the most of his opportunities." Richmond legend Matthew Richardson took to X, formerly Twitter, to express his grief. Rest easy, Andrew Krakouer, a wonderful man, beloved by his teammates. Always greeted you with a hug and a smile. Sending love to Jimmy, Andrew's daughters, and the entire Krakouer family. A sad, sad day. Former Richmond teammate and current club CEO Brendan Gale echoed the sentiment, saying he was devastated by the sudden loss. Crack was an exceptional talent, but more importantly, a deeply loved husband, father, son, teammate, and friend, Gale wrote. My thoughts are with the Krakouer family and everyone who cherished him. Rest in peace, Crack. A legacy that will live on though. Andrew Krakouer's journey was not without hardship. He will be remembered not for his struggles. Andrew Krakouer is a former Australian rules footballer known for his remarkable skills and resilience on and off the field. Born on the 4th of February, 1983, he was the son of Jim Krakouer, a legendary footballer who played for North Melbourne. Growing up with football in his blood, Andrew developed an exceptional talent for the sport, which led him to be drafted by the Richmond Football Club in the 2000 AFL draft. He played for Richmond from 2001 to 2007, showing flashes of brilliance but struggling with consistency. In 2008, his career took a dramatic turn when he was convicted of assault and sentenced to prison. Many believed this would end his football journey, but Krakouer proved them wrong. Upon his release, he made a stunning comeback, joining Swan Districts in the WAFL. His 2010 season was legendary, capped by a best-on-ground performance in the grand final, where he led his team to victory. His efforts earned him a second chance in the AFL with Collingwood in 2011. At Collingwood, Krakouer quickly became a fan favorite due to his dazzling footwork and ability to produce moments of magic. He played a key role in the team's finals campaign and won the AFL Mark of the Year in 2011. However, injuries hampered his later years, and he retired from professional football in 2014. Despite the ups and downs, Andrew Krakouer's story remains one of perseverance, redemption, and incredible talent. Andrew Krakouer's life has been filled with incredible highs and devastating lows, and much of his pain has stemmed from personal struggles beyond the football field. While his talent and resilience made him a celebrated player, his journey was also marked by deep sorrow, particularly in relation to his family, childhood, and the challenges he faced in life. Growing up, Krakouer experienced a difficult childhood, shaped by both the legacy and struggles of his father, Jim Krakouer. His father and uncle, Phil Krakouer, were trailblazers in the VFL-AFL, but they also faced racial discrimination and personal hardships. As a young boy, Andrew witnessed the challenges his family endured, including the legal troubles that his father faced. This created a sense of uncertainty and sadness in his early years, making it difficult to find stability. Family has always been central to Krakouer's life, but his journey has been filled with painful moments. His time in prison was particularly heartbreaking, as it meant being separated from his loved ones, including his daughter. The isolation and regret weighed heavily on him, and he often spoke about the emotional toll of missing out on key moments in his child's life. The experience reinforced how much he valued family, but it also deepened his sorrow, as he could not undo the lost time. His return to football was a triumph, but even then, Krakouer battled personal struggles. Injuries plagued him during his career, limiting his ability to consistently perform at his best. The frustration of repeated setbacks took a toll on his mental and emotional well-being. Like many athletes, he faced the harsh reality of how quickly a career can be derailed by physical limitations. The transition away from professional football was also challenging, as he had to find a new sense of purpose beyond the game that had defined so much of his life. Through it all, Andrew Krakouer has remained a figure of strength, but his story is also one of deep sadness. He has spoken about the pain of his past, the struggles with his identity, and the weight of expectations. His journey reflects the reality that even the most gifted individuals carry burdens that are not always visible to the public. Yet, Despite the sorrow and hardships, he has continued to move forward, showing resilience in the face of life's toughest moments. There are moments in life when we find ourselves weighed down by sorrow, searching for strength in the darkest of times. As I reflect on Andrew Krakouer's story, I see not just a footballer, but a man who has faced pain, regret, and struggle with extraordinary resilience. In many ways, his journey mirrors the hardships that many of us endure, whether it be the burden of our past, the pain of separation from loved ones, or the fight to find redemption. I know what it means to carry sorrow deep in my heart. I know the feeling of regret, of wishing I could go back in time and make different choices. I've felt the loneliness that comes with being misunderstood, and I've seen how life can change in an instant, leaving us struggling to pick up the pieces. That's why Andrew's story resonates so deeply with me. His battles were not just played out under the bright lights of the football field. They were fought in silence, in the quiet moments when no one was watching, when doubt and despair crept in. When Andrew was sentenced to prison, many thought it was the end of his story. But he refused to let his mistakes define him. He used that time to reflect, to grow, and to find the strength to return. He didn't just play football, he played with purpose, with passion, and with the weight of his past pushing him forward rather than holding him back. His journey reminds me that redemption is possible, no matter how far we have fallen. Life will test us in ways we never expect. It will break us down, push us to the edge, and make us question whether we have the strength to keep going. But if there is one thing I've learned from Andrew Krakouer, it's that perseverance is not just about surviving. It's about fighting for something better. It's about refusing to let pain define us and choosing every single day to stand up and keep moving forward. So to those who feel lost, who feel weighed down by their past, who wonder if they can ever rebuild, know that you are not alone. Andrew's story, like so many others, is proof that struggle does not mean defeat. It is in our darkest moments that we find what we are truly made of. And sometimes the hardest journeys lead to the most extraordinary comebacks. In a world that often judges too quickly, we must take a moment to step back and truly understand the struggles that people like Andrew Krakouer have faced. It is easy to celebrate success, to admire the highlights of an athlete's career, and to cheer for their victories. But beyond the roar of the crowd and the bright lights of the game, there is a human being, a person who has felt pain, endured hardships, and fought battles that most of us will never fully understand. Andrew Krakouer's journey is not just one of talent and skill. It is a story of resilience, redemption, and the power of second chances. His life has been marked by struggles that could have broken him, moments of deep sorrow, regret, and loss. Yet he never allowed those hardships to define him. Instead, he used them to push forward, to rise above, and to show that no matter how far someone falls, they can always find a way back. As a society, we must learn to see people beyond their mistakes. We must recognize that every individual has a story, that every struggle comes with lessons, and that sometimes the greatest strength comes from overcoming adversity. Andrew's life reminds us of the importance of empathy, of looking beyond what we think we know and truly understanding the person behind the headlines. We should honor not just the athlete, but the man who fought through his darkest days, who found redemption, and who serves as an inspiration to anyone who has ever felt lost. We should celebrate his perseverance, his determination, and his ability to rebuild his life despite the challenges. Instead of focusing on his past mistakes, we should admire the way he has used them to grow, to change, and to become a stronger person. So let us choose kindness over judgment. Let us embrace the power of forgiveness and believe in the potential of every individual to turn their life around. If we can learn anything from Andrew Krakouer, it is that no one is beyond redemption. Every person deserves the chance to be seen, heard, and valued, not just for where they have been, but for where they are going.